hollows on a team, you'd win every team fight because you could just cover the entire area multiple times and there's nothing people could do. Now it's very manageable.
Alright guys, here we go with our first game in our match. He's running with a Dagger Focus, Rune of Leadership with Marauder. He's got, Air, Arcane, and Weaver. Very interesting. I'm excited to see this. And for those of you who just joined the Twitch chat, you'll be able to see I posted the brackets for you so you can follow along with us. And just for reference, my Alak is getting replaced by Kittiz. So if you see my Alak, that's actually Kittiz inside there. He's got to be really quick, really careful.
Rod.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this build.
Yeah, me too. You don't see them very often, so I like when people bring new and fresh builds to this tourney. You usually see Fire Weaver most of the time. He's got to be really careful, though. iPod Touch is really putting a lot of pressure onto him. He's using the LOS very smartly, just trying to stay away, resustain as much as he can, but he's already really low. It's going to be very dangerous for him. He's got to put some big damage down now. If he doesn't, he's going to be pressured really hard. Down goes Kittiz. iPod takes the first one. And this is late. I don't think I've ever seen late in any of my tourneys. And like I said, guys, I really, really enjoy when I get new guys. Every single time I do a tournament, I get 1 or 2 new guys. Guaranteed. It is no matter what, I always get 1 or 2. And that's good news for us. We're trying to draw more people back into PvP. And it seems to be working. Everyone who joins says they have a really, really, really good time. So that's actually iPod that takes game 1. Let me see what Kittiz's account name is. I don't know if I know them. So we're going into game 2, guys. Kittiz over here. What's his name? Stunt Maniac. I've never seen Stunt Maniac in my tourneys either. This was actually he was brought in by Bounty. So thank you so much, Bounty, for that sub bringing him in. I really appreciate that, buddy. And once again, Starch and Gemini for those subscribes, bro. You're a fucking beast. Thank you so much for that. Let me take a look at his build one more time so you guys can see it. Ooh, Arcane and Weaver. I don't see this often at all, guys. He's running.
Get a slight change to the play style. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to give away the surprise, but
he's definitely going a little more hardcore. That's for sure. iPod Touch. Ooh, iPod Touch. Ooh, goodness, he's definitely going full ham on this one, and he kind of knows that he's got to burst him down before he bursts him. The Hollow has a lot more sustain than the Ali does, but we'll soon find out how he's able to compensate for this, if he's able to come back. And like I said, it's not only the build that you have to change, but your playstyle, how you engage, how you use the terrain, the LOS, the obstructions. Very, very important.
I'm gonna make a prediction and give this one to Kites. This is one round. This is one round.
Tries to go for the early Prime Light Beam. I would have waited a little more, or at least kind of fake the Prime Light Beam and stop the cast halfway through, just to try to get him to use, big damage already. He was trying to get he's possibly trying to get the big CC right away. Kittiz is just trying to get some distance, kiting a little bit to try to get some cooldowns and resustain a little bit. He's got to get that damage down onto iPod to pressure him. There you go, and that's what he needs. He can't let iPod just run around and do whatever he pleases. He's got to put a little bit of fear into him, just so he doesn't get too, there you go. That's exactly what he needs. This is very dangerous for Kittiz. No, he was not able to pull it off.
Poorly placed swirling winds as well.
Yeah.
And that's late.
Down and wasn't able to use it to basically block anything because he put it too low and had to run out.
Ooh, our next match. Chrome versus Magic Boy, and I haven't seen Magic Boy in my tourneys in a while, but he used to do a lot of them at the beginning. He's a very, very dominant player. I'm not sure what he's playing with today. Maybe he's going to be using Weaver, I think. He's very confident in Weaver, and he uses Weaver very often, but I'm interested to see if he brings something else. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Weaver. There's King Chrome, I believe. Yeah, King Chrome, and there's PH Magic Boy on his alley. Yeah, he's probably going to be using Fire Weaver. Yep, there it is, Fire Weaver. And if you guys want to play Fire Weaver, this is the man to watch. Really, really impressive. Dagger Focus, interesting.
I was about to say, yeah, it's not sword though.
Yeah, very interesting. He's probably going to change it, or maybe he doesn't realize. But he's very proficient with this class, so he can get away with a lot of things that most people can't. He's running Holbrack with the Celestial Amulet. Let's take a quick look at, he's running Condi Rev? No. Invocation, Retribution, and Renegade.
I'm very much looking forward to how Chrome handles this.
Yeah, very interesting. So he's running with Staff, Short Bow. He's got Annulment with Escape, Courage with Energy, and Traveler with Mender. Very interesting. I'm going to watch PH. I haven't seen him in a long time, so I'm very interested to see what he's running, especially with Dagger. Nice stun coming out of Magic Boy, trying to get the damage onto Tex-Mex. Tex has got to be careful. He does have some decent sustain, but he's not going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with PH Magic Boy for very long. He's got to be very careful. Oh my god.
I don't know. This build's pretty good.
Very interesting build that he decides to pull out. Dogger Focus Lightning Rod is good in 1v1, so I don't play Ellie very much, but I'm trying to play him in, I've made a separate account to create Ellie and all the other classes that I don't play, just so I can learn them a little bit. Yeah, Renegade, the meme Renegade. He's actually doing a pretty good job, but PH Magic Boy is a dominant Ellie, so it's going to be, this is a tall order for him to call up on. He's trying to sustain. Those burnings are doing their job. He's just...
Chrome does have a chance of making this go all the way to map mechanic.
He might. He's slowly dwindling him down. As you can see, he's going from 100% down to 75. A nice resustain over there. Good stun. Oof. This is going to be tough for him. This might go to the map mechanic. This might be the first match that you guys actually get to witness the map mechanic. So at least you'll be able to see it before you go on. He's not able to put enough pressure onto PH Magic Boy, and PH Magic Boy pretty much can do whatever he wants at his own whim. 20 seconds left. He's trying to resustain.
My answer.
He tries the staff evade. He doesn't have much left in the tank.
It.
Yeah, Magic Boy is going to take this. He's trying to do as much as he can, but Magic Boy ends up taking this one. That's game one that goes to Magic Boy. And I'm very curious to see if he's still running that dagger. Yeah, he is still running that dagger. Very, very interesting move that he's taken over here.
Dagger has a lot of mobility and field potential, like the fields in general that it can put out. Sword has a little more direct ports, but Dagger has a lot of interesting dynamic play. It can be a lot of fun.
Honestly, I'm just using this as practice for 1v1 on this build. This is more of a team fight build.
Well, this is what we use the 1v1s for, practice. It doesn't really matter, guys. We do this for fun, and it's a community builder thing. It's just bringing everybody together, and you get to know people, and you get to fight against people that you naturally wouldn't fight in a nice, friendly environment. Obviously, we take it a little bit of serious, and you always need a little bit of shit talk in competitions. It's not a competition without shit talk, but as long as we keep it civil, nothing too crazy, guys. So here we go into game two, PH Magic Boy versus Tex. Let's see if Tex made any changes to his build. I don't think so. He's still running exactly what he ran before. I don't think Magic Boy made any changes either. He did a pretty good job in that match. He's just going to try to sustain. If I was Tex, I would try to just kind of kite him as much as I can and try to make it to the map mechanic. This way he doesn't have the ability of having his mist in downstate or his healing. The barrier is still going to be there, but I think that's his best option at this point, and that's why I like the map mechanic. Even though this looks really one-sided, if he's able to bring it to the map mechanic, he will have a slight advantage. But I'm not sure if he's
really far behind. If he doesn't make some serious changes to his playstyle right now, it's over. Oh well.
Good job either way, and they're bringing a new build, so I definitely appreciate that, Chrome. Thank you so much, sir. Now we're going to be going into our next match, which is Deuce versus Corian. And Corian is another guy that I've never seen. I think there's 3 or 4 people in this that I've never seen. And keep in mind, guys, I think I've done to date 67 or 68 1v1s. I've done about 16
I'm hopping down
to...
the channel, Mike, because I'm in.
Yeah, no problem. And I've done about 16 or 18 2v2s, and I've done about 6 or 7 3v3s. So I've seen a lot of different people, and I've still, to this day, still see new people after new person after new person. Let's take a quick look at, ooh, he's running Tactics Warrior, Discipline, and Strength. Let me move this up.
Turn of the fighter, let's go.
Yeah, he's running Shield with Axe, and he's got that Greatsword. Running Rune of the Fighter with Demolisher. Let's take a quick look at his opponent, which is Corian.
This man's build craft is always so much fun to see.
Oh yeah.
I'm just waiting for Corian to enter over here. I think he's in. Yeah, there he is. Let me just make sure that's him. Oh, he just left.
The game just crashed as well.
Okay, he may have just crashed. Yeah, a bunch of people are losing or getting out. Yeah, he is definitely new. So let's take a quick look at his build. He's running Reaper, interesting. Ooh, he's going full ham over here with the Rune of the Traveler and the Berserker Amulet. He's got Staff with Great Sword. He's running Death Magic and Soul Reaping and Reaper. And this is what another advantage that I get a lot of the time when you see new guys. They don't really know, because I solicited Lion's Arch, Divinity's Reach, Radisum, and World v World, so their builds are not necessarily the same as PvP, and if they've never been in PvP, they usually use something kind of funky, and I really like to see that. He's already using the no port spot, which is a really good job, but it's not necessarily the no port, but it's the obstructions that you really want to use against Warrior. Really good combo coming out from Deuce over there with the Bull's Charge, the Whirlwind, and the Arcing Slice. He gets the Trailblaze on top of him, and the Trailblaze just puts the cripple. It's a really good to prevent him from kiting, so he's able to stay on top of him. He goes into the Rampage really quickly. The Rock Throw hits him right in the face, big stomp, and he gets River Phoenix down. Good job either way, and I appreciate Corian coming. And this is another new guy that we get to see. This is a best of 3, so he has another chance to adjust.
I'm really hoping to see someone running the new unkillable Necro build.
I'm definitely curious to see that.
For core.
They're definitely, and I really like the patch that they made to Scourge, because Scourge was very, very suppressing. Like, Scourge Firebrand would dominate almost every single AT, and now that they finally nerfed them a little bit, we're starting to see other classes starting to shine, and they're able to put themselves in the light now. Really good job, and I think the patches for that ANET has been putting out is really starting to balance out all the teams, all the different characters. We're starting to get in a really, really, really good spot. It's not there yet, but we're definitely in the right direction. There's no super dominant builds. Every build really has a counter, except for maybe Staff Thief. That's probably the last really broken build that needs to get rid of.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Staff Thief is pretty dangerous, and it's very, very, very abusive. He goes into the Rampage. Really good job by Phoenix this time, able to put some pressure onto Char Miracle. He got a little complacent over there, thinking that he can get this clean sweep. He's actually off the Breaching Strike with the Bull's Charge, but he's able to resustain quite quickly. Let's see how much Shroud he has. He has 0 Shroud. Oh, he goes into Lich form. Deuce has got to be really careful. Really good job by River Phoenix, catching Deuce off guard, getting him to use a lot of his mitigators, getting him to use a lot of his dodges, and then he goes right into Lich form and just auto attacks him right down. Really good job. We got a game 3 already right here, guys. Really, really good job. Dagger Focus, Lightning Rod. Oh yeah, okay, that was you, cartoon from before. That was impressive. I enjoyed seeing that. Once again, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I really, really, really do appreciate it. You make it much more entertaining when there's a bigger crowd out there to watch. So thank you, and big ups to all of you coming out to watch. We're just trying to build that community PMA, baby. Positive mental attitude. I don't think River Phoenix has made any major changes.
I would like to ask him why he's using Well of Suffering instead of Well of Corruption. I'm not too big on Necro, so...
Gets him in the Bull's Charge right away. That was a beautiful combo by Deuce and really putting the heavy pressure onto River Phoenix. And now this is going to be a dangerous place for River Phoenix. He doesn't have that much of an ability or that much of an advantage to be able to get aggressive. He's really low in health. He goes right into the Lich form, and that was maybe not the best time then. He goes into Rampage to try to counter that Lich form. Ooh-wee. And that's Deuce that takes it in game 3. And if you look at the challenge.com bracket, guys, you just look at the numbers beside the names. It looks like I'm kind of bouncing around, but it's just making sure that the guys who were in the first round didn't play very, very quickly.
Really good. That was fun to watch. That was a lot of fun.
And there's the bracket for you guys. So anybody who just joined, you'll be able to see this. We have 21 participators in this match right now. Ooh, now we have Lighter versus Ragnar.
Calling that match the Battle of the Elites.
It was the Battle of the Elites, pretty much. Yeah, that was the Battle of the Elites.
I guess Rampage won.
Yep, looks like it.
So this is Ragnar. I think Lighter should be here. Let me just make sure. I'm going to find him in here. Yeah, there he is, the Lighter. And he's really good lighter as well. He's been in a lot of my tournaments. And as I mentioned, guys, I've started a 1v1 season. So if you participate in at least a minimum of 3 of my tournaments, I will put you into the roster and start recording your wins and losses. So you'll have the chance to be the #1 at the end of the season. First place at the end of the season gets 1,000 gold, second place gets 500, and third place gets 250. We're still in the beta stages. Let's take a quick look at Lighter over here. He's running Rune of the Fighter with Demolisher. He's got Great Sword with Axe and Warhorn. He's running Strength, Discipline, and Tactics. A lot of these core warriors are going for Tactics now. And New to Guardian over here is running Zeal, Honor, and Firebrand. This looks like your hybrid Firebrand. He's running Sword Focus with Axe Shield. He's got Rune of the Traveler with Menders. He's got it. Yeah, that's a little bad, but it's okay. He does have a lot of sustain. He does have energy on his weapon transfer. He tries to get him in the whirlwind, but to no avail. He's got to be really careful. He's a little susceptible to condies. He's not running the Signet here. He's only got 2 major condies for condi clears from Shake It Off. Is he running with Brawler's Recovery? I don't believe he is. Yeah, he does have Brawler's Recovery. And is he running Cleansing? No Cleansing on any of his weapons. Oof, New to Guardian is getting a heavy pressure, but right now they're kind of backing off, giving each other a little bit of space, and I really like this. They both come in, clash really hard, and then just separate. Clash really hard and separate. Who do you think is going to win this one? Who do you favor in this match, Soro?
Lighter.
Yeah, why do you think that?
If it New to Guardian, oh wow, that's his name. But if he's been using his dodges way too aggressively, like when, yeah, he needs to hold off on those a little bit more.
I would agree with you.
The thing is, when he switched into fire and he used his fire chapter 4 for the first time, he used it pretty far off of where Lighter actually was. He's been depending really heavily on just his signets being placed in the ground and forcing the Lighter to try to back off from him as he heals back up, instead of just being able to constantly pressure him.
And that's one of the major things too. I agree with you on that, because the warrior animations are very, very obvious. And here we go, guys. Actually, here's the map mechanic. I'm going to back up a bit so you can see in 5 seconds. You're going to start seeing the AoE come from here, here, and here, from both spawn areas and the door. So here you go. You already see that green mist, and there's no more healing that they're able to do at this point. So here you go. You can see the AoE starting to encroach onto the map. It's going to force both competitors. He actually uses his rampage for the end of the map mechanic, which is a really, really, really good idea, but it actually completely mitigated by New to Guardian. Really good job on that, completely nullifying the rampage, keeping the heavy pressure onto him. Oh, he's going to run into the AoE. As I said, there's no healing, and the AoE is going to force them into that back corner, and if they don't kill each other by the time the AoE comes up, the AoE will do it for them. Lighter's in a bad situation. Really good job by Guardian right here. He's mitigating. He's got the Shield of Wrath over here. He's got a... he ends up getting the down.
That's the outcome.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Lighter changes up his build.
And Moner, it's not really worth staying if you've already lost. You can leave if you so choose, but Deuce gave me a really good suggestion. And from here on out, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be eliminating 3rd place, and it's only going to be 1st and 2nd. And the 3rd place gold is going to go to a raffle at the end of the tournament. So everybody who participated is still going to have a chance to get gold. I'll just do like a little game. You got to guess the number from 0 to 100, and if you get closest, you get the 3rd place gold. So there's going to be no more 3rd place. This is going to be 1st and 2nd, and then a raffle. But this won't start at this tournament. This will start in the next tournament. So this will give a chance, even if you don't win, or even if you know you're not going to win, there's still potential to win a decent amount of gold. And that was a great suggestion by Deuce. Thank you so much for that. And once again, guys, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I do these every single day. If you like this type of stuff, click that follow, click that subscribe, and you'll know when I go live. I also have a schedule below, a little bit about me, the goals I'm trying to achieve, as well as my Guild Wars 2 1v1 season website. So here we go into game 2. Well, Lighter's got to change his tactics. He can't get too complacent, and I really like that match, though. They engaged really hard, backed off each other, they respected each other's strength and prowess, and they came back in for the engage. It's like 2 cats coming in, fighting, and backing out, and then coming right back in. But either way, Moner, thank you so much for joining, man. I really, really, really do appreciate it. It was very exciting to see it. the Lich form memes was really cool. Big damage coming out of the warrior. And he goes into Rampage. That was a really, really good call. I think that was a really good call. He was able to get the heavy pressure, and even if he's not able to get much damage onto New Guardian, he's able to get him to use a lot of his cooldowns. As we can see here, let's take a look. He's got no more mantras left to his availability. He does have his tombs, but this is where he's able to really get the advantage. He chunked him really good, went into Rampage, kept the pressure up, and as I mentioned with the Guardians, they don't have that big, big, big heal. They have all these tiny little heals that they were able to cast, and the lighter as a warrior is able to really chunk his HP, and it only takes a fraction of a second, so you can never get complacent. You always got to stay on point. So here we go again, another game 3, guys. This has been epic. I think we've had 7 matches so far, and I think 5 of them have been game 3s. Really, really good stuff, and we're not even into the quarterfinals yet. This is still considered the first round just because of the way the challenge bracket tries to pair everybody up. So when we get to the quarterfinals and the semis, we have the right amount of people. So if you look at the bracket, it's a little funky at first, but after that, it should get much better. So here we go, game 3, La Lighter versus New to Guardian. We've had some really good matches so far, man. I really, really, really do enjoy these.
Oh, map chat. It's like, well, he landed X first, guess he won. In a world where Eviscerate hits his target, what a pog.
And it's like I said with Warriors, the animations are really, really obvious. You got to be able to hide them or hide them in another animation to be able to catch them. So New to Guardian's got to be really careful. He does have a lot of blocks and blinds to his availability. Good pull. Trying to get him in the push as well. Nice damage at the beginning. But there's a lot of sustain coming out of Lighter, so it's going to be really careful. It's got to be really careful. And as we saw...
Really good dodge there.
He tries to get him in the pull again. Tries to get him in the whirlwind. He's actually being much more careful. And here comes the Rampage. Yeah, he's already rampaged once again. He's trying to get him to burn through most of his mantras. He's got to be a little more careful with using his mantras and using his last cooldown. That really puts him in a bad situation. Not only is the cooldown for the mantra really long, but he's got to recast it after it comes off cooldown. So right here, he's got one more on Rejuvenating Spite. He's just got to be a little careful. Try to use kiting as much as he can. He's got the Shield of Wrath up to try to mitigate any damage that he might be coming towards him.
We dodged his burst.
Nice Shield of Absorption right there just to mitigate, but he's also got to be super careful. It only takes 1 or 2 moves for Lighter to really chunk his damage and put the pressure onto him. We got 50 seconds left in this match. It might go to the map mechanic.
Depends on whether or not he lands his next Eviscerate. Does.
And that's good pressure that he's able to put on him. Let's take a look at his cooldowns over here. He is sitting pretty good. His Tomb of Resolve is about to proc. We got 30 seconds left. Right around the 15 to 20 second mark is where they really got to start thinking about their cooldowns and what they're going to bring into the last bit of the, or into the map mechanic if it does get there. And as well, around the 5 to 8 second mark is when you really want to pressure.
The blind.
Hey, Dada. Welcome back, buddy. And around the right around to the 5 to 8 second mark is when you really want to put the pressure on your opponent. Try to chunk as much damage as you can so they can't resustain. But it looks like they're both going into this map mechanic with roughly around the same amount of health. And his mantra of
It'd be really difficult for the Lighter right now.
It's going to be, but I think he has the advantage if he's able to chunk him really deep. Sorry guys, just responding to a whisper over here. Goes into the Rampage, saving the Rampage for the end. Oh my goodness, he's in big trouble over here. I don't know if he's going to be able to mitigate this. Oh my goodness.
GG.
Yeah, and the Lighter ends up taking it. Really, really good job from the Lighter on that one. So that's another 2-1 series. And now our next match is going to be a really good one, guys. I'm excited for this one. Ooh, baby. Dork Opium versus Bounty. The Bounty hasn't been in my tournaments in a long while, but every time he does, he has a stellar performance. So I'm super curious to see how well he does in this one. Maybe he's got some ring rust. I don't know. Maybe he's got to shake that off first. But he's going, ooh, Lord. Floor God's running with a core Necro over here. He's running Rune of the Traveler with Deadshot.
Not quite running the unkillable build, but it's close.
Scepter Warhorn with Staff. He's got Curses, Spite, and Soul Reaping. Let's take a quick look at VK Hazard. Oh, Bounty's running a Warrior now, Core Warrior. Interesting, interesting. He usually runs Hollow, but Hollow did get a little nerf to their Shockwave and their Corona Burst. So he's got discipline, tactics, and strength, and you're going to start seeing tactics in every single warrior spellbreaker or core. You see them a lot now. It's a very strong trait line. It just got patched, so obviously it's got a little bit of extra strength to it. We got Great Sword over here with Axe and Shield, and he's running Reaper, oof, and Demolisher. This is going to be very interesting. And I know that Floor God is really good. I've seen him many times, and I know Bounty's really good. So this is going to be an interesting match. And they're both using the kind of newer builds that have come out, started coming out of the woodwork since the new patch has come out. And that's what I like.
Really hoping to see in the second match Floor God switch over to some death magic shenanigans.
And once again, guys, look at the numbers. If you're looking at the challenge.com bracket, look at the number beside the names. I'm going in the order of the number as they go, not in order from top to bottom. It's just because the people who played in the first round, I don't force them to play. Oh, he tries to get him with the rock throw, but that was a little far away, and he was able to see that really quickly and able to mitigate that pretty easy. Floor God's in a little bit of trouble.
Really good Boon Corrupt right there.
That was very impressive. Good job by Floor God on that one. He's got a lot of Reaper Shroud now, so he's got to be careful. But good job by Floor God, not using too much of it. But he might get caught here. Oh, no. He's got to get the... Oh, he tried to get the Corrupt.
Very close match.
Oh, but it's still a downstate. But I think
whose downstate is stronger.
I think the Vengeance is going to be able to win this. There's no doubt in my mind that the Vengeance is going to get this.
Fear comes back up. He doesn't have resistance. He needs to pop heal stick or balance stance here.
Off, and he uses the fear while he has stability. There's not much he can do here. That was a really, really impressive match, though. That's exactly what I expected from both of them. Really, really, really good job. Oof. And what do you think he can make it, and what changes do you think he can do it, considering playstyle or even build, Sora?
First off, the warrior did an excellent job of really counteracting the Floor God's main kite ability with the Spectral Walk. So as far as Necro goes, I don't think he needs to change too much. Just to,
me neither, actually. I think
using just the normal map mechanics of just blocking off the warrior's ability to, well, not line of sight, but just messing up the warrior stuff. Ooh.
And I think what was a big oof that Floor God did is what Data mentioned, if he could have gotten Shroud off, because he put Shroud on and then he started to chase VK Hazard, and then he realized that he was a little far and he ended up coming out of Shroud a little early, and the cooldown on Shroud was just a little too long. He wasn't able to get back in. VK Hazard noticed that he went in and out of Shroud and really put the pressure on him before he can transfer back. And even
I'd like to see him take off Summon Bone minions, but...
Although it does
exactly.
Force at the start.
Very
I feel
true.
like what he should have done, in my opinion.
Ooh, switching to Spectral Ring right at the end there. There it is.
Really good job. Floor God's in a little bit of trouble. Nice. He's trying to kite him away. Oh, another perfect ring on the rush. He was able to mitigate that.
Same.
Really good job from Floor God on this one. He's got to be really careful trying to use those no ports, trying to stay away from as much as he can, and that's the main thing with the core Necro. You kind of, especially with Warrior, who's only got really melee, he comes in for the big damage, and he comes out of Shroud really early. He might be punished for it, but VK Hazard getting a little nervous and just backing away. That was really good for Floor God. He's got a good position here. He's punishing VK Hazard as he comes to me. Oh, Lord, was that ever fucking close. And he's kind of trying to bait him into it. Oh my God, Floor God's really playing with fire over here. He's got all his marks, and this is great positioning from Floor God, punishing VK Hazard. He's got him in that ring, and now he's able to cleave from far.
To Floor God.
He's using terrain, and that huge, as I mentioned, with VK Hazard is only melee. So he's staying up on the high points. He's using that second tier to his huge advantage, and he's able to get him to kite off, and then just punishing him and punishing him and punishing him. Oh, that's actually Deuce. Let me turn you up a bit. Deuce.
Really good fight here.
Man, that was good.
Yeah, very impressive.
I feel like there's one change Floor God could have done to his favor. Not that it matters because he did win that. Is he could have run Wanderers instead of Deadshot. It's the same stats. It just trades Vitality for Toughness. Because Floor God basically is doing absolutely no not Condi pressure, no power pressure. it would sorry, VK Hazard's doing no Condi pressure. Floor God would greatly benefit from the toughness. Necro has the highest base vitality pool in the entire game, so he doesn't.
I think he's
need
using
the extra
vitality just for his shroud pool, because if he can,
But
he's just
it
trying to
doesn't
manage
affect
the shroud.
pool as much. It only Scourge benefits heavily from vitality because the shroud also is affected by toughness. So it's just
I
like
did
another
not know
health
that.
bar. Yeah, so it's just like another health bar. So but in terms of Scourge, the reason they like vitality is all of their skills use a set amount of life force. They actually consume the life force as a resource. So having more vitality doesn't change the values of the amount the skills need to use. So it really helps Scourge, but everything else, Reaper and Core, it doesn't make a big difference.
Really good info coming in. Deuce, he's the master. I really go to him when I have build suggestions. So here we go into game 2. Game 3, actually. Another game 3, guys. Epic, epic, epic. This time VK Hazard he's got to be a little careful here. He's kind of nervous about the shroud. Really good stun over there. Really, he gets him in the bull's charge, arcing slice and 100 blades, finishing that really, really, really fast. He's not taking any chances on that one. So that's Bounty that takes it. Really good match. I knew that was going to be a good one. So now we're going to go back to the top of our bracket.
Time on the Spectral Walk.
It's going to be No Name versus Sergeant Gemini. No Name versus Sergeant Gemini.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. No Name is such a strong rev.
I skipped a match? Which matchup did I skip?
7